Okay, everyone. Welcome to XLR. We got round 14 today for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Why is the loudspeaker so loud? Since when has the loudspeaker been so loud? Oh, it's because I got speech on full. No, it's not because of that. Okay. Anyway, we got Q1 here today. Tech support's already retired. Pyro's on the wets. Okay. But Pyro is driving out on the full wet tire because he's Pyro. Today I'm theoretically joined by Solid Elite, but he's doing live things at the current time.
Yeah, I really don't want to get kicked out of my flat. So
Pyro is going backwards. And Pyro doing Pyro things, and he's been disqualified. Great qualifying performance there from Pyro. Already getting himself disqualified within the first 30 seconds. Okay, so the first to set a lap here in the session will be D10. He's the first around the lap, and so by that logic he'll be the first to set a lap. And can the loudspeaker be less loud, please? Why is it so loud? D10 in turn 1, he's beginning on his first lap. There's a few cars coming out of the pit lane. There's not much visibility when you emerge from the pits, but thankfully it's off the racing line. As Giannuzzi has gone straight on at turn 1. If you look where he is on the mini-map, that is not particularly close to the track at all. Voting Web just invalidated his lap. I just saw that when trying to look for Giannuzzi. It's quite a short lap, so he should be able to go again. D10 is coming towards the end of his first flying run. He's coming through the middle sector now, about halfway around the lap. Jack Imax on the intermediate tyre because he's special, and Charlotte is on the hard tyres because she is also special. D10 on the mediums. There's like 3 drivers using the softs here. D10 with the fast middle sector. There's a yellow flag. That is I think had a spin. I wouldn't be surprised if had a spin. D10 coming up to the line. That's the first lap of the session then. It's a 109.3 from D10. Om's on his out lap. He's just starting a lap. So I think that's Power GT. No, it's not. It is. Who's filling in for A now? It's BP Ace. He's just starting a lap as well. Voting Web would be the next to finish the lap, but he's invalidated. So it's going to be Jay-Z, I think. He's coming up to the end of his first run on the medium tyres. And Jay-Z goes second with a 110.6. And Luke the Blade slots in behind D10 and ahead of Jay-Z. It's about half a tenth down on the Aston Martin as Alpine goes fastest on the soft tyre. Not exactly surprising that the soft tyres are wielding the fastest time. Fuzzle goes third on the medium compound. Perkins goes into 6th ahead of Power GT on the hard tyres. And who was that just jumped up? Sneaky Lagger goes 8th on the soft tyres, but he's not using ERS because he's special. Giannuzzi's brakes failed. Oh no. BP8 finishes his lap. He got P4. We are 4 minutes into the stream and I've already had a voice crack. Voting Web coming to the end of his first valid lap. No, it's not valid. He's messed up another lap. Okay. So who's going to be the next to actually set a lap? I think it'll be Teeks. No, it won't because he's invalidated his. We're going to see Jack Imac. He's in the final corner. But he has kept it valid, so he will be the next driver to set a lap. Jack Imac coming up the line. Assuming he doesn't bail. He does not bail this lap. Watch him go ahead of Sneaky. He's gone ahead of Sneaky on the... Well, I just realised Sneaky's time is a 1:22. Jack Amack goes into 10th. Probably won't be safe, but actually considering we've already had 3 retirements, and then we've also got Sneaky in the field, anything's possible. Although Sneaky does set a 1:11.3, which is slightly less horrific of a lap time. We've got in the final corner. Is he deploying? I don't think Om's deploying any ERS. And no, he's not. Is into the pit lane. So Teeks will be the next driver to set a run. He's coming up to the line now, and he puts it P3. Our newest full-time driver on the grid goes into P3. Voting Webb is just beginning a lap right now, I believe. But yeah, he's technically set a lap, but that's not a fast lap. And the 2 Ferraris are awfully close to each other on the track. I think Jay-Z is just starting a push lap. Someone's just jumped up the field. Who was that? That was a Haas car, I believe. Sneaky Lagger puts himself P9 without using ERS. That's honestly quite impressive, even though he's not trying. Liam Bawardo is going to finish a lap. He's on the intermediates. Will he do better than Jack on the inters? No, he doesn't. He's about half a second down. I don't know why I'm comparing their inters runs. Zakis Beast is just disconnected. Why is that loudspeaker so obnoxiously loud? That's my question. What am I doing? I don't know. That's Voting Webb coming up to the line. This is going to be his first representative time, and he goes fastest on the medium tyre as well. About half a tenth down on El Plan, but on a slower compound. So it's a very nice lap there from Voting Webb. I just want to get my chat back up because I messed that up. D10 is using a lap. Fuzzle, is he pushing? I don't think he is, from the fact that he's going 100 miles per hour. No, kilometers per hour. Even worse. That's Perkins, who's coming around the last corner and about to start a flying run for her. Is he seriously the next driver to set a lap? Oh, sneaky lag line. Oh, JC is coming up to the line now in his Ferrari. He's coming up to the line, and he goes up to P7 on the medium compound tyre. Voting Webb trundling his way back to the pit lane. Why are they talking about translations from Portuguese? D10 is finishing a lap, but Sneaky Lag will finish one ahead of him. He's 3 tenths down. He might still beat the time. No, he doesn't. D10 is 3 tenths up, however. And he goes P3. Just about pipping Fuzzle. And now Perkins is 1.5 seconds up. So she's coming up to the line. DRS active on her Haas car. Coming up to the end of the lap. She goes 5th. Very nice lap there from Perkins in the Haas car. Is on an owl lap, but we can't really expect much from this lap that he's now begun. He is after all. There's a yellow flag. I think that's Perkins slow. She letting out the way. Yes, she is. She's gonna let Hearts out the way as well. She is. Liam Bewalder coming through out the pit lane. see anything particularly interesting going on. D10's finishing a lap. Perkins is on an aim lap, I believe. Sneaky Lagger's just doing Sneaky Lagger things. He's on the 6th lap old softs. Somehow he is in P11. I'm not entirely sure how. Jack Imac has invalidated. Om is on the push lap. Can't expect too much from this. He had to get P11. So technically Om is beating Jack Imac and Liam Bawoda. He's only 2 seconds faster than people on the inters. Oh dear. Hart's coming around the beginning of his lap. Hart's through turn 4. Zach's Beast has rejoined the session. I would have invited him, but I can't as I don't have him added. Oh, Om is doing things. He's just mowing some lawn. He's just mowing the lawn. Anyone on a lap? Hart is on a lap. Our most recent race winner in Tier 1. There's an Om stopped on the track. But it doesn't hold him up. And Hart comes up to the line. With DRS active, D10 thinks he's done enough. Hart comes into the pits. Not Power GT, that is BP Ace. Coming to the end of his coming to the end of his outlap. Tim Border goes P4. A much more representative lap time from him. Voting Webb retires from the session. He thinks he's done enough. What is Perkins doing? Why is she looking like she's going to go out on the wet tyres? Sneaky Lagger doesn't improve. Jack Imac goes fastest with a 108.5. Nice lap from Jack there. How GT is coming to the end of his outlap. BP Ace is on a push lap. He'll be the next driver to complete a flying lap. Hello, Mr. Voting Web. You are not fastest anymore. BP Ace around 2/10 up. That would see him to around where Perkins is. If he keeps up this pace in the final sector, there's not many places to gain or lose time in this final sector. And he can't displace Perkins, improves by just under 1/10.5. Why are you talking about the 1994 German Grand Prix? This loudspeaker person is rather random. And they're taking our job of the podcast. This loudspeaker person. Yeah, you can't hear him because he's sorting out rent info, I think. I'm not entirely sure. He's doing something about life. He's not speaking. Power GT comes to the line. He goes 5th fastest. So nice lap from the Alpha Tauri driver. BP Ace has invalidated his lap time. So the next driver we'll see, I think, is no, the other Alpine. There isn't another Alpine. No, there is. It's Luke the Blade. He's on an outlap. Jay-Z's on a fly. He's coming to the end of his lap. DRS active, staying to the left. He goes P5. A nice lap from the Ferrari driver. That should see him safely into Q2. I think his teammate Teeks was on an outlap there. Sneaky Lagger is coming around again. Perkins is now on the wets, the second person to opt for the Blue Walled compound in this bone dry session. Zach's Beast has not set a lap time yet in the session. He's coming up to the line. He goes 13th. That would get him through at the moment, but it won't be safe. Who's that? That is He's beginning a flying run. And Zach is, not Zach, it's Luke the Blade is 4/10 up. I feel like he only just had an improvement, but he's sitting in P12, but he's 4/10 up on his time at the moment, which would not see him to gain too many pit positions, possibly to around P10, where BP Ace is. It puts him P9, he gains another, just under a 10th in that final sector. Fuzzle coming at the end of this lap. He's around 200ths up in the first sector. So, let's see. In the middle sector, he's just under a 10th down, and he spins at the final corner. I think that will be all Fuzzle can manage in this Q1 session. He shouldn't be at risk, but you never quite can tell. Especially with how close these grids are. Perkins going through on the wet tyres. I don't think we need to really worry about what she's doing. So it won't be an improvement. Zakis Beast comes in. His qualifying is most likely done then. I think Zakis Beast is out of... Well, he's not out of qualifying. Yet. If two of the drivers behind him improve, Zakis Beast will be out of qualifying. His session's over though, so it's down to the three behind him whether he'll be going through into Q2, whether he'll be out in Q1 for yet another occasion this season. Fuzzle's backing off that lap. His qualifying is probably over then. He might get another lap actually. JC retires from the session. He is safe. Perkins is there. Where's that Hasker? Who's that Hasker? That is Sneaky Lagger. Is Sneaky Lagger through? No, he's not. He's on 12 lap old tyres. Be very surprised if he pulls out a 110 on those tyres. I just realised Hearts has retired from the session. So if Om improves here, then Hearts will be out in Q1. Will Om improve? No, he doesn't. Not this time around. And with only 50% battery, he locks his rears as well. Almost goes into the back of Perkins. I don't think he was going to improve, but... What are they doing? I don't know, but that is your Q1 session then. So out in Q1 is Sneaky Lagger, Tech Support, Giannuzzi and Pyro. Pyro facing a quali ban. Tech Support and Giannuzzi. I think Alfa Romeo had a bit of a car failure out there today. I don't think their engines were at their best. So that is your Q1 session. Jack iMac top from BP8. Didn't even notice the Alpha Tauri going into second. And Sneaky Lagger's parked. Where is he going? What is Sneaky doing? What is he doing? Wait, no. Om's safe. Didn't even realise. So Om's not out in Q1 either. But Om has managed to escape the bottom 5. I think the world is going to end because Om is through into Q2. Sneaky Lagger's just been disqualified from the session for reversing. Is he going to go 19th then? He's just been disqualified from the session. Is he going to... He's gone down to 18th. He was 16th. He's now 18th. The two Alfa Romeo drivers have got themselves a promotion. Alright, so on to Q2 then.
between 1982 to 1990. 5 of these were at Rio de Janeiro circuit, with his 6th and final being here at Sao Paulo. The Brazilian Grand Prix of 1994 was the last time any World Championship F1 race was won by over a lap.
Right. D10 is the first out, I think. No, because Williams has come out in front of him. So Hartz is at the front from El Plan. The two of them. So Williams 1-2. We've not seen that in a while. We're back in the 90s, I think. When was the last time we saw a Williams 1-2? Probably be back like 96, maybe? Maybe 97? Oh, wait, it's raining! I'm pretty sure I just saw water droplets there. I think it's raining. Yeah, it's raining. That's why they're trying to go out early. Fuzzle's trying to overtake someone in the pit lane. They've all realised that it's starting to rain. And they all want to get their laps in as quickly as they can before the rain slows them down too much. Hart has gone wide and El Plan's gone through. I swear, it's raining. I'm not hallucinating, am I? I don't know. I hope I'm not hallucinating, because I swear I saw some raindrops. Two Williams are slipstreaming each other. They're going to hold each other up here. And into turn 1, it's El Plan from Hart. Two Williams cars trying to get around as quick as they can. Yeah, I can see some rain on Hart's car. It is indeed raining. They're slipstreaming each other down into turn 4. I think they're not exactly helping each other here. And the rain's starting to get heavier already. So as it starts to fall, the driver's further round the lap. JD's invalidated his lap. That's really not going to help him. An invalid lap at this stage could see him out in Q2. El Plan. You heard nothing. El Plan from Hart. And then they've got... Is that Jay-Z behind them? Yes, it did. They've got D10 behind them, I think. And they're all trying to get their way around the lap. So El Plan's going to be the first to set a lap. This may be the quickest lap we see in this Q2 session. So El Plan does a 109.5, Hart does a 110, D10 slots in with a 109.6. Voting Web behind them goes faster with a 109.1. That should be safe, considering it started to rain. Perkins with a 110.6. That will not be safe. Zach is Beast is gonna come to the line with a 110.6. And they're all setting times. Liverpool Wilder goes 4th, Teeks into 6th. That's Fuzzle and Power GT behind Jack Imac. Is really drifting around this middle sector. The rain's starting to fall, and it's falling heavily here. On this Interlagos circuit, Fuzzle goes into P3, BP Ace goes 4th. Luke the Blade can only manage P7. The times are getting slower. Power GT's only just starting his flying lap now. Power GT's really going to struggle with the rain. Om's the next to the line. He does a 111.0. That won't be safe. Jack Imac is into the pits. He invalidates his lap. That will really be costly for Jack. We could see our championship leader out in the second part of qualifying here. Jay-Z can go P10. Honestly, that might... Even though it's barely safe, it might be safe just because of the rain and how much it's starting to rain. Power GT's abandoned his lap. I think he was planning to start last anyway. Or last in Q2 last. Voting Webb's going for more runs. I'm not entirely sure why. So everyone else is funneling their way into the pit lane. Whereas Voting Webb is the only one staying out. I'm not entirely sure why. Jack is almost certainly got himself knocked out in Q2. with only just coming out now, with the rain falling heavier than ever. Apparently Jay-Z was 4/10 slower on his second lap in the middle sector. That just shows how much the track is deteriorating. There's a Haas stopped there. I think, is that Perkins? Yes, it is. I don't know why I need to ask that, because of course it's not Sneaky Lagger. But Voting Webb is still doing laps of the circuit. He's around 6 seconds down. I'm not sure if he's trying to push. Perkins has just crashed into the barrier. Wait, if Perkins has crashed, whether she'll be into... Okay, wait, she wouldn't get into Q3. Anyway, Power GT's just gone into a wall. Jack Imac is going to be starting his lap now. D10's going out on the inters. That just or he selects the inters. That kind of shows how much the track has deteriorated here, as Jack Imac is starting what will be probably his one and only lap in the session. With the rain so much heavier for him than it was for everyone else, he's going to need to absolutely nail this lap if he wants any chance of continuing in qualifying here. Our championship leader, I feel like Jack Imac is the only driver that could somehow pull out a lap good enough for Q3 here. When he's already through the first sector, it's so much heavier than it was earlier. Through the middle sector, this is where he'd really start to struggle. He doesn't look to be too off. Like, he doesn't seem to be put off too badly here. So, we'll have to see Jack Imac coming through towards the end of the lap. So our championship leader, I don't know how his time is stacking up compared to the times of the others, but I doubt it's quicker. I think the rain is falling heavier, and I think the game's recommending inters in these conditions. Jack Imac is going to come up to the line, is the championship leader, out in Q2. He goes P11, which honestly is a very impressive time, considering he's done that in much worse conditions than everyone else. But I think that is sealed, and Jack Imac, I think, is out in Q2, having not set a first run, having invalidated his time. Jack Imac, I think, will only be able to manage P11 on the grid for tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, later today. But you know what I mean. Well, I don't think anyone on the track right now is properly going for a lap that needs to be going for one. But our Q2 is all but decided. Unless someone had a really rubbish first lap. The rain is getting heavier, so I doubt we're going to see any improvements in the session. Fuzzle does seem to be really struggling on these soft tyres, so I think watching this lap, I don't think anyone's going to do any more laps in this session. Look how much he's struggling to put the power down. Oh, he's gone right around. He's held it though. Not a bad save from Fuzzle there. We've got a Ferrari driver. That's Teeks heading back out. Not entirely sure why, because he's 9th in what's almost certainly safe.
Podium finish in the same race back in 1994 at the German Grand Prix.
E10's going out on the inters, and he does seem to be with more grip than Fuzzle had a minute or so ago. It just shows that the inters are the better tyre now. So in intermediate conditions, no one's going to be improving. So, but even D10's struggling to put the power down, even though he's on the intermediates. So I think that will be everything for this session then. I think we'll see just the drivers pulling into the pits and probably all retiring, knowing that they're not going to be able to improve further. Teeks is on the soft, which I don't think is the right call, but as D10 invalidates his lap there, he's 3.5 seconds down on the intermediate tyres. Let's see how Teeks' time compares to someone on the bubble going back out on soft. So he's going through the first sector. He does seem to be slightly struggling on the throttle. Let's ride on board with him so he can truly see how difficult it is in these conditions. He's into turn 4. He's half a second down in the first sector alone. Yeah. And he backs off. I think if everyone just retires here, we can actually get going and save 4 minutes.
Brazil has produced 3 world champions, all of which have won more than 1 world championship. Fittipaldi,
I don't know if everyone will retire, but
who when winning his 3rd world championship in 1991 became the youngest ever to do so at the time.
who's going out now? Is that Fuzzle? Yeah, it will be Fuzzle. He's the only Red Bull driver on the grid.
Circles given the name due to 2 days inside the air. Breaking electric power. The current venue is now officially known as the Autodrome Jose Carlos Hayes after the famous Brazilian.
So, Fuzzle is going out on track.
Fernando Alonso never taken victory. More than any of the current drivers, only twice less.
It's so much slower on these tyres, so I'm not sure why Fuzzle's trying to go again. But Fuzzle is on the track. But looking at that Interlagos circuit, he's not going to improve no matter what he tries. I think, honestly, I don't know why now all of these drivers haven't retired. El Plan's going out for another run. I don't understand why. You're not improving. You're not going to improve. Why are you going back out? It's literally Inter's conditions. Let's look at this from Fuzzle. This is the heaviest rain we've seen so far in this session, for sure. How much time is he going to lose just in the first sector? So Fuzzle is in a full second down after 1 sector. And for some reason the drivers are still trying to set laps.
In 1989,
I don't know why they're still trying to set laps. You're not improving. Another driver's going out. Why is going out? You're not going to improve. You're on the interzone. You're trying to beat a lap on the softs. What is doing? So let's see how much time Fuzzle loses on the softs. So compared to earlier, it's 5 seconds a lap slower on the softs. I'm not sure what the pace is, the pace differential is on the inters, but it'll probably be around the same. Someone else has gone out as well, I think. No, they haven't. Can these guys just retire? And that if all these guys retire, we could have been in Q3 about 3 minutes ago. But no, we're just sitting here and waiting because decided he needs to do an inters run when he's gonna be out regardless. Like, what is he doing? You're out, mate. You're not gonna improve. By what? Like almost a full second, 6/10. You're not finding 6/10 on the intermediates. So let's just see what the pace differential is. as El Plan comes to the end of his lap. So El Plan's fastest time ended there. Okay, El Plan comes in, so we don't get to see what the actual pace is. But it's looking like 112s, 113s, that sort of thing. Let's just watch this lap from Om. This has been one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in almost 2 seasons of XLR. Trying to do the James Allen quote, but I've not done almost 20 years of Formula 1. So Om's like 3 seconds down. Yeah. Let's look at let's see how good this lap is. Oh, what a lap. 4 seconds down. Champion's drive. Beautiful lap there from Om. And there is zero sarcasm in that sentence, in the slightest. That is the greatest thing I've ever seen in Formula 1 history. Right, anyway, he's out. Right, so, ready for Q3 then? In showdown on the intermediate tires. The biggest upset though, Jack Imac is out in the second part of qualifying. He's been knocked out after invalidating his lap time. He's only about a 10th and a half off, but it makes all the difference for him. But voting web top from El Plan. I'll possibly see if I can try and get an interview with Jack Imac later. Or at least... No, I can't, because Jack doesn't do interviews. That's fun. Yeah, so it's still raining then. Oh, I just lost game audio. Okay, there we go, it's back. Go away, you stupid loudspeaker! I'm the commentator here. You stupid loudspeaker person. Can they... Oh, minimap. And again, wait, it's back to slicks. It's back to slick conditions. But is it going to start raining again? Because both Williams have gone out immediately yet again. Fuzzle's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. I think Fuzzle crashed coming out of the pits and got disqualified for it. That's slightly unfortunate for him. Anyway. Yeah, sorry, no offense, Fuzzle. You're great. Didn't want to do a lap anyway. So, Hearts will be the first driver. No, he's letting El Plan go. So El Plan will be the first driver to set a lap in Q3, followed by D10 and BP8 behind him. So, we'll see if the Aston Martin team make the same mistake twice. I don't know if it's going to start raining this time though. There's a yellow flag and a green flag in the same place. I'll plan through the first sector. Here he goes. He's got a McLaren emerging. Liam Bowalder emerges just behind him, but thankfully doesn't hold either him nor Hart up. I think I can't notice any rain on his car, but it might be. But El Plan through the first sector. It looks to be clearing up a bit, but the track might still be a bit damp. So, here goes El Plan through the middle sector. He's getting rotated. D10's lap has been aborted. Possibly he made a mistake around there. But Hart has abandoned his lap. Not abandoned, he's invalidated his lap. So Hart's lap is not going to count here. So El Plan will be the first driver to settle up, and he'll be followed by BP Ace. El Plan up to the line. He goes fastest with a 108.4. And BP Ace is going to follow him. In the AlphaTauri car, BP Ace does a 108.8. And the next driver will be Voting Web, although no it won't, it'll be Luke the Blade. Voting Web having invalidated his first lap. It's never ideal to do so, but it's never deliberate. So 108.9 from Luke the Blade, so he slots into third. Teeks is the next to set a lap. Our newest full-time driver, Teeks goes into second by slightly over half a tenth to BP Ace. Voting Web is lighting up the timing sheets in the first sector though. Hearts is invalidated again. So, and he's got his fuel light on, so Hearts is out of fuel. He'll be into the pits. And Liam Bewald will be the next driver to set a flying lap. He does a 51.4 in the middle sector, but he spun at the final corner, or the final real corner. And Liam Bewald's lap is not going to be completed. But a lap that is looking to be completed is Voting Web's. He is coming up to the line. Voting Web goes fastest with a 108.0. So much like in Q2, he goes 4 tenths faster than L Plan. Jay-Z's on L. Is Liam Border pushing here? I don't know, he's not using ERS. I'm trying to work out if Liam, if I need to be commentating on Liam. I can't tell if he's pushing or not. Hearts coming into the pits. Liam Water is not pushing. Okay. Next driver will be Jay-Z, even though he's on an outlap here. So we're going to be with him for his entire flying lap. He's going to go into turn 1 then. On the brakes, getting it rotated, hit the apex. Takes a lot of curb through 2. Goes slightly wide round 3 though. With DRS active, he's going down the first of many straights on this circuit. A 17.0 in the first sector. A lot of curb through 4. Not quite so much outside curb. Staying close to the inside around 5 and now up into 6. Takes a bit of curb, not too much. Doesn't hit the second apex perfectly. But getting it rotated. Now it's a long left-hander. He gets on the power quite early. Now coming towards the end of the first sector through the hairpin right. Now flat out down the left. Now through the middle sector split. Now into the final sector for Jay-Z. He's going to come up to the line down the start finish straight. DRS active slightly onto the grass there for Jay-Z. But shouldn't hamper him too much. Jay-Z goes up into 8th. So the slowest out of all the competitive times in this session. But now taking over in the spotlight is Hart. Who's up behind the Ferrari driver. Traffic hopefully won't be an issue for him, but you never can tell. Through 4 for Hart. He's still got that Ferrari right up ahead of him. That shouldn't be holding him up. Jay-Z pulls off the track and out of the way of the Williams driver. And now here goes Hart. So Voting Web currently on target for pole by an awful lot. Currently 4 tenths clear of the next car. Voting Web is the new Shakos confirmed. Unfortunately we're missing both Shakos and Andy. Probably for the rest of the season, as they have both had issues. Andy doesn't enjoy the game anymore. It's fair enough after how many bugs there are. Yeah, Hart goes into P8. He is 7 tenths down on Jay-Z. I think he should have more pace in the car. But yeah, Andy just doesn't enjoy the game anymore. Gone to other sims like Aesthetic course of the ACC. I don't know how you properly pronounce it again. Competizione or something. He plays ACC, and Shakos, having issues with his wheel, has sent it back to Fanatec. So we will be unfortunately missing probably two of our fastest drivers for the rest of the season, all but handing the world title, not world title, the championship to Jack Imac, who is out in Q2 here. First time I had top 5 pace and I drive into wall. And don't worry, probably you should be able to extract that in the race, but it is slightly unfortunate. Here goes Hart, he's in the pits, indeed he is. Voting Webb is the first driver on track, so he's going on to a flying lap. But we do have some drivers coming out of the pits now. We've got Teeks. Is he the only one? Yeah, that Williams is Hart's coming in. So Teeks is the only driver coming out right now. Voting Webb is not deploying. I think he's going for a warm-up lap of such. He's not on a push this time around. And coming out, that is an movement in the Alpine garage, I believe. That would be Luke the Blade coming out if it is. But no, it's not. It was movement in the McLaren garage. It's fairly close to Alpine. They're next to each other in the pit lane. They've moved into the Ferrari garage. That's Teeks on his way out. JC's already on an out lap, but Voting Webb. Wait, he's on a warm-up lap, I forgot. But he is starting to deploy now, so this will be probably the final flying lap from Voting Webb. Unless he's going to go for 2 in a row. Actually, no, he will have to go for 2 in a row if he wants to get more than one run in. So everyone coming out onto the track now besides Luke the Blade, who is on his way out, just isn't out already. There's a yellow flag. That was BPA's going slowly. But thankfully he's not on a flying lap, although he has just spun around. Jay-Z getting past his Ferrari teammate. Jay-Z only in that Ferrari temporarily. Teeks in it permanently. Voting Webb coming through the middle sector. Let's see what he can do then. Hopefully he won't encounter that traffic in front of him. No, he won't. Not at this point in time. Voting Webb's a further 2/10 up on his time that's already provisional pole. Are we going to see Voting Webb into the 107s here? And setting the fastest time we've seen this weekend so far. DRS active. And indeed, Voting Webb is into the 107s. First driver to break that 108 barrier. Jay-Z now finishing a lap. He improves, but is not enough to displace Luke the Blade. Jay-Z's only 7th then. Teeks beginning a lap. That's D10 coming to the end of an out lap. Luke the Blade going slowly. But he's on an out. So Liam Bawalda is the next to set a lap. Our 2-time champion and our only champion, in fact. Liam Bawalda is only a 10th up at the moment, but this time he didn't lock the race into the final corner. So hopefully for him, this will be a much more competitive lap. The DRS active. This will be the final. Will be his last act of the session. He goes second with a 108.2. So a nice lap there from Liam Bawalda to put him on the front row, or at least provisionally. BPA goes into P5. Voting Webb, I assume, isn't pushing. He's just taking a flag anyway, knowing he's probably got a nice comfortable pole position. Alpine and Hart towing each other. Hart goes up to P8 ahead of Jay-Z and 7,000 behind Luke the Blade. Fortunately, that's not enough for him. Teeks is around 3/10 up at the moment. He goes into P4. D10 also 3/10 up. What can D10 do? He goes P3. Only a 10th and a half improvement in the end. And the last driver to set a lap is Luke the Blade. He's 2.5 tenths up at the moment. He's coming up to the line now. Can he displace BP Ace? I don't think he can. And no, he can't. Luke the Blade stays P7. Right. Voting Web is your pole sitter then, followed by almost half a second, followed by Liam Bewilder, D10, L Plan, TX, BPAs, Luke the Blade, Hart, and Jay-Z, and then Fuzzle not setting a lap. Alright, can I interview Mr. Webb? He has accepted to, I think. Yeah, here he is. It's Mr. Voting Web. Pulls it to by almost half a second.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
Andy and
Very
Shackles aren't here, so you have to take over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the lap, to be honest. I
Yeah,
was
you
10th
quite
down
throughout
in Tech 1.
qualifying, to be fair. Wasn't just
Yeah.
Q3.
I mean, I didn't expect to be on pole here today, but I'll take it. I mean, we've got a big chance here with Jack down the order, but it'll be hard still to beat the guys. I know they're quick on race pace, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah,
Hopefully an entertaining race for you.
hopefully it's better than the tier 2 race we had here. So, who do you reckon behind you is your biggest threat today?
I wouldn't say Liam and Elpan.
Where did our plan qualify? Can't even remember.
I think it's like P4 or something. But he's quick. I raced him here in GXRS a couple of weeks ago. And he
GXRS
was
is our
quick.
partner league. They race, unfortunately, at basically the same time as our tier 2. But make sure you drop them a follow and check out some of their other socials. Ideally, watch our tier 2 instead. But yeah, but a lot of our drivers race there in their free time when they're not being XLR drivers. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. Got there, have a good race and enjoy it.
Yeah, cheers. Hopefully we can hold on, but those McLarens behind look quick.
And hopefully you don't get ommed.
Yeah. I'll see how Jack does. Hopefully it can come through too quickly.
Yeah.
Bye bye, enjoy the race.
Yeah, bye. Alright, we're just chilling here. What time did Pyro say we're starting? 20:28. Alright, you got 2 minutes to go until the race starts. I think we actually have a formation lap this week. That would be monumental. It's actually nice when you have a formation lap. Well, I swear, like, do you see in Teaser's garage? They were softs earlier, and now they're hards. Are they just changing compounds? Those tires in Teaser's garage, I swear, they were softs, and then they changed to mediums, and now they're hards. I'm not hallucinating, am I? I'm gonna have to watch back the stream just about some tires in the garage. Cause I swear they were soft earlier. I don't need a podcast if you can. You can. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Who needs a podcast when you can listen to the loudspeaker doing it for you? Of course, as soon as I turn up the audio, they stop talking. Right, let's turn that significantly down so I can... There we go. Right, okay. I think we'll be going. Yes, we are. Formation lap is back on. Alright. Should hopefully be a good race. Brazil often does produce good ones. So we shall see how it goes. On to the formation lap then, whenever the driver's already up. We're just waiting for players. There we go. And one light on, and we are on the formation lap. Right, starting tyres then. Let's have a look at them. So, top 5 all opting for the yellow walled medium compound. Then BP Ace behind. In 6th, he's gone for the hards. Luke the Blade gone for the mediums. Hearts has opted for the softs, which is quite bold from him. Jay-Z and Fuzzle both going with the hards. Jack Imac and Zach's Beast on the mediums. Perkins and Om both on the hards. Power GT on the mediums. Tech Support on the hards. Giannuzzi mediums. Sneaky Lagger softs. And Pyro with the mediums. So we'll see, we've got a Mercedes sandwich on the grid today. One Mercedes on pole position. One Mercedes with a qualifying ban. Voting Web is almost running away on the formation lap. But there he goes, now he's backing it up. Doesn't want his tyres to be stone cold. He's backing up into Liam. And Liam doesn't want to catch him. Liam wants Voting Web's tyres to be as cold as they can be. Voting Web's just spun out. He just had a spin on the formation lap. Is he going back to his position? Yes, he is. Or at least he's trying to. There goes Voting Web, back up to where he should be. But now they're reforming for the grid already. So it is a Mercedes sandwich no longer. At least he got his spin out of the way before the race begun. Voting Web angled quite aggressively. He's got a wheel slightly outside the bracket. He gets it stopped nicely. Teek's been disqualified. Perkins also missing her grid spot. Now just waiting for Pyro to get into his position. Got a green flag at the back to 5 red lights. Then for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. And it's a pretty even start from the front too. But Liam Water seems to have the overlap on Voting Web. Voting Web covers him off on the inside. D10 trying to go around the outside. Voting Web gets through into Town 1. There's contact with D10 and Liam Wilder. D10's been spun around. There's chaos at the back. There's loads of things going on in the midfield. But Voting Web gets away cleanly. Teeks up into 2nd from El Plan. Luke the Blade in 4th. It's like 4 wide at the back. There's all known what's going on. I think Jack Imac's got into a bit of contact there with one of the Alfa Romeos. And somehow Jack's up into P6 from 11th on the grid. And Luke the Blade goes wide up turn 6, I believe that is. And there's contact and spinning off. That's Om into the barriers. So it's not been a good start for McLaren today. Power GT's also had a spin. But Voting Web has got away cleanly. He's about a 2nd clear on the first lap already. Followed by Teeks, El Plan, Jack Imac up into 4th already. Those medium tyres working out for him. Well, that was a start and a half. Giannuzzi side by side with Jay-Z. Pair of them are commentators in Season 2. Now they are racing wheel to wheel. In Season 3, side by side, Giannuzzi on the outside of Jay-Z. Jay-Z goes a bit wide. Giannuzzi's on his outside, on sped in the pit lane. Giannuzzi side by side with Jay-Z. Is he ahead of the Ferraris? Not quite. They're still side by side. And they're hanging round. But Giannuzzi gets ahead. Giannuzzi started last. I just noticed that. How? He started last. He's up 12 positions. The biggest winner there was Giannuzzi, as I pointed out, but also Jack Imac up 7. Pyro's gone up 6. Teeks up 3, JZ up 3, Zach's Beast up 4, Tech Support up 6. Biggest losers though, down 5, Hearts down 9, and Liam Order and D10 both down 12. There's quite a few battles going on in the midfield though. Perkins dropping positions. She'd had a spin at the final braking zone, not the final corner, but it's the final actually challenging corner. BP aces out of the session. Has he retired in the pit lane? I think he has. There's a yellow flag though. Yeah, he's retired in the pit lane. Not sure why he's retiring in the pit lane going on to lap 3, but Teeks has caught Voting Web. The two of them are going to be going wheel to wheel before too long, I reckon. But Jack Imac is right on the back of El Plan already as well. Jack Imac from 11th on the grid is up into 4th here. And he's already only 3 seconds behind Voting Web. Pyro has picked up a time penalty already. He's trying to battle with D10. The two of them going wheel to wheel. Pyro on the outside of D10. They're going side by side. Can Pyro make the move stick? He gets shown a closed door from D10, but Pyro opens it. And they're side by side still, but Pyro gets ahead through the final sector. There's a car off. That is Fuzzle. He's gone off at the same place as Charlotte. Jack Imac gets ahead of El Plan into 3rd place. And Teeks and Voting Web are now only separated by 4/10. Is Teeks going to go for a move this time around? I think he's a bit too far back. Not board racing, to be honest. Fuzzle and Hart side by side. There's a bit of contact. Fuzzle gets kind of pushed out the way. But DRS open Power GT trying to get past Hearts. No. Can they make the move? Power GT goes for the move. There's a bit of contact. Tyre to tyre contact. Hearts maintains ahead. Thankfully, neither of them ending up facing the wrong way. New battle in the midfield. I think the closest battle is this one for 14. Power GT going to try and make a move on Hart. He's trying to go for a switchback. Battling for 14th. Very high stakes battle here. The front, Teeks has DRS. Jack is almost within Teeks' DRS. That's slightly scary. Oh, I just heard Power GT's gone off at... That's at the penultimate corner on the exit. The rejoins at the... it's not officially the penultimate corner, but I call it that. Oh, someone's going off. That's Pyro. Had a massive snap of oversteer there, I think. He's dropping positions. See. Oh, there's all kinds of battles going on. Tech Support and Jay-Z are side by side. Tech Support gets himself ahead. Luke the Blade is going to try and follow the Alfa Romeo driver through. As Jay-Z appears to be fairly slow at this moment in time, but Coffee is just slightly struggling on the harder compound. Luke the Blade can't get past for the time being, but he'll probably have another go with DRS. Jack Imac, speaking of DRS, Jack Imac have the DRS in front to Teeks. So Teeks' advantage over Jack has been nullified. As they both have DRS and not just the Ferrari. There's a yellow flag. Om's gone off. I think that's the second time this race already. Teeks with DRS. He's closing in on Voting Web, but he's not closing in enough. Jack Imac didn't get the DRS that time around towards turn 4, but if the pair of them start battling in front, that will really benefit the Aston Martin behind. I think if Voting Web will probably just let Teeks go here. See, I think its main threat today is Jack Imac. This battle, they've got rid of Power GT, but they've now caught Perkins on the hards. Well, the Hutch goes a bit deep. Can Fuzzle go down the inside? No, he can't. He backs out of it. Pair of them going side by side. Is Fuzzle going to go for a switchback? Yes, he is. But he can't make the move. Front again, Jack Imac with DRS, as does Teeks. And 3 turn 1, assuming Jack doesn't get a horrible turn 2. He does indeed have the DRS again. Textbook gets himself ahead of Zach's Beast as Luke the Blade gets past Jay-Z. Now D10's also trying to go for a move on Jay-Z. Jay-Z trying to stick a wheel up the inside of Zach's Beast. Can't make the move this time around. I should stop focusing on the midfield and focus on the front. Because I think Teeks tried to go for a move on Voting Web. Couldn't make it stick. But now Jack is right with them at the front. And El Plan isn't too far behind either. So if they hold each other up too much... I think... Have they caught Om? Om is about to go a lap down. It's lap 7 Om. How do you manage that? If Om stays out, Voting Web might be able to get the DRS before too long. And that would massively benefit the Mercedes driver. But Teeks with DRS again, as does Jack Imac. The three of them might be about to go wheel to wheel to wheel. Well, Voting Web seems to be making a slight mistake on the exit of 2 there. Teeks with DRS is going to go for the inside. And he's going to go for the race lead into turn 4. Teeks, on his first race as a full-time driver, has taken the race lead away from Voting Web. Jack Imac is unable to follow the Ferrari through, but Voting Web does seem to be struggling. He's only got 10% ERS as well to play with, compared to Jack's 65. Jay-Z gets past yet again, down to 12. Is Jack gonna have a lunge? He half-heartedly thinks about it, which may have compromised Voting Web's line. And he's really seems to be faster in this stage of the race, but he can't make the move done. Now Voting Web will get the DRS to Teeks this time around, but Jack is alongside before the activation point. Jack Imac goes up into 2nd place, and now he's probably gonna set his sights forwards to Teeks ahead. It's not been a great lap for Voting Web, has it? He's not had a very happy lap 8. Losing 2 positions in 1 lap from the lead down to 3rd. But here goes Jack Imac. It's very quick from 3rd to 1st. And he gets through into the race lead. Jack Imac now leads in Brazil, and he's going to try and pull this advantage away. And the next thing that's going to help him with that is that DRS to Om, which he's going to get before too long, you'd imagine. Now, after all of that, I need a water break. How GT gets himself ahead of Hearts. Not that it will make too much difference. But look at that gap. It's so close. Om is now being blue flagged. The fact that he's ghosted, I'm pretty sure means that he's just got blue flags. Indeed it is. There are blue flags already. It's lap 9 and Om is being blue flagged. Now, Jack Imac is still ahead of Teeks this time around. El Plan is gaining on Voting Web, but I don't think he's gaining enough to make a move before too long. Mimblewald gets past D10 into 8. And Voting Web actually gets himself ahead of Teeks. He's up into 2nd place. And Voting Web is now going to have to defend from that Scarlet Ferrari. But Jack Imac has now definitely caught Om. Om still hasn't got out of the way, although he does that now. Om has been lapped. It's lap 10, and Om's a lap down. I think that's a new record, even for Om. Where did he go? He just disappeared. What? What? Om just teleported back. Like, 3 corners. Whoa. Anyway, Jack Imac has broken the DRS window. There's a yellow flag. Om's managed to spin it. He's managed to beach on the curb. He's reset the track. I think you're allowed to if you get beached. I'm not entirely sure. Normally you can't reset the track, but I think if you get beached, it's okay. Om's not having the best of races, is he? Liam Bullwater gets past the Zacchaeus Beast. He's up into 7th from the front row of the grid. Got spun around at turn 1 after contact with this man, D10. D10 with the DRS isn't enough to get past Zacchaeus Beast, but Zacchaeus Beast is going to fight back against Liam Bullwater. They're side by side. Liam maintains P7. It's a short lap with 2 DRS zones. So overtaking is common around this Brazilian venue. El Plan's now only a 2.5 seconds behind the drivers in front of him. Pyro is stuck down in 11th. Om's gone off again. And he is officially lapped down to what? 14th and higher has lapped him. Now 15th and above. He's lapped down to 15th. But Jack Imac has pulled a gap of up to 2 seconds now. It's crazy what he's doing from 11th on the grid. It's been a very good drive so far from Jack Imac. Been a very good comeback drive. Zacchaeus Beast gets ahead of Liam Bullwater, but Liam with the DRS is going to fight him into turn 4. But I think Zacchaeus Beast is a bit too far ahead this time around. DRS open for Liam Bullwater is not enough to get ahead of the Alpine driver. There's a bit of DRS train forming down to Pyro. They're all pretty close to one another though. So Pyro going to try and look for the outside of Luke the Blade. He had to think about it. D10's trying to look at the outside of Liam Bullwater, but he can't make it stick. He doesn't have enough grip to do that. Although he might be able to have a challenge into turn 1. Now through into the last sector split. I forgot the name of half the corners. So I should probably get a track map up, shouldn't I? We've got DRS active now for Liam Bullwater. Got DRS active for D10 behind. And everyone down to Pyro. Pyro is going to go for the move on Luke the Blade. Liam Bullwater gets past Zacchaeus Beast. Can D10 also get past Zacchaeus Beast? Not this time around at least. But Pyro has spun around. He's based in contact with D10, I think. And Pyro, in the Mercedes from the back of the grid, is now back down to 12. Zacchaeus Beast gets back ahead of Liam Bullwater. Right, let me get a track map up. Liam, stop attacking Zacchaeus Beast. You can't make a move there. He had a look at one, but he got shown the grass. And he goes into the back. D10 goes into the back of him. Is Luke the Blade's going to try and fight? No, he's not. Maybe he's going to try to, but he's not going to succeed. El Plan is almost within the DRS of the guys in front of him. I now do have a track map. Okay. No, I don't anymore because I messed it up. Pyro has come into the pits, but he's sped in the pit lane. Voting Web is also in. So I didn't even notice that. Voting Web has pitted from 2nd place. He's gone on to a set of the hard compound of tyre. And he's gonna hope he can undercut Teeks, but maybe also Jack Imac. So let's get a gap to the leader. The gap is 23 seconds. It's a fairly short pit lane around Interlagos. I think the pit time's around 19-20 seconds. So let's see. Will we see Jack Imac into the pits this lap? Not this time around. And we're not going to see Teeks in either. not L plan, so possibly voting Webb going a bit earlier than he would have liked. He's going to have to go 21 laps on those tyres. So possibly that is why some of the other drivers aren't pitting. Yeah, so voting Webb is all the way down in 10th. From pole, it's not been the best of races for the Mercedes driver, not been the best of races for the other Mercedes driver either. So we've got Pyro sitting in P15. Pyro's gone on to a set of soft, interestingly, so he's not planning to go to the end on those. Or at least if he is, he's going to have to do a lot of extending. Not particularly much going on in the state of the race. But we do have D10. He's having a look at Zak's beast. He tries to go for a move, but he cuts the curb and gets a 3-second time penalty, and that's massively compromised his run. He's now got Luke the Blade trying to get past him. Luke the Blade can't make the move though. I've already lost the track map because my phone turned off. He can't get the move into 12 though. Luke the Blade with DRS now, however, he's going to try and get himself ahead of D10, so he can't make the move at this stage in the race. Oh, I need to tell my phone so it doesn't turn off. So Jack Imac still out in front. Nothing, no change there. Pyro sets the first lap of the race and gets past Sneaky Lagger, both at the same time. So Zach is still ahead of D10, who's still ahead of Luke the Blade. Somehow no change there. Although Luke the Blade is so much quicker than D10 at this moment in time. Luke the Blade, is he going to try and get past D10? They both have DRS, so it's a lot more difficult for him. Teeks is coming into the pit lane from 3rd place, and he is quite a way behind Voting Webb. So Voting Webb's undercut may see him take the lead of the race, at least temporarily. Having to cut through this traffic. D10, not entirely sure why D10's trying to cover the inside when he's fighting a driver that's already made his pit stop. But there's a bit of contact behind. I'm not sure who would be in between. Oh, someone off. That's Jay-Z. Jay-Z's gone off. That is... Where is that? That's turn 6 and 7, I believe. Yes, it is. But more importantly, into the pits from the race lead comes Jack Imac. Jack Imac into the pits, going onto a set of the hard tyres. Giannuzzi take the race lead. Jack Imac's had to be held rail plan, and he's going to emerge behind Voting Webb. Voting Webb's going to retake the race lead, but how long will it last? I'll have to find out later when Jack's tyres get up to temperature then. So Jack's going to start hunting him down, but there is an Alpine in between him and his target. So around half race distance so far. Is being blue flagged and getting out the way. I'm not entirely sure how he's a lap down. And the thing is, he hasn't even made a pit stop either. Well, he has, but he's going to need to stop again. So in the race lead right now, we've got Giannuzzi, So, from the back of the grid, it's now an Alfa Romeo 1-2. Zachary pits, and Jack Omek gets up into 4th place. Anyway, about the Alfa Romeo 1-2. Jack Omek actually gets a 3-second time penalty. The game doesn't want me to talk about the Alfa Romeo 1-2, does it? Jack has got a 3-second time penalty. That will swing in favour of Voting Web. Alfa Romeo 1-2. They started last, both of them, deliberately not qualifying to have a bit more fun. And now they are 1-2. Although, to be fair, they haven't made any pit stops yet. So they will need to make a stop, but it's nice to see. It's nice to see the success for the Alfa Romeo team. Jack Omek is still trying to hunt down Voting Web. Pyro sitting in a nice P7, although he's on those soft tyres, so he's going to have to make another stop. Jack Omek's gap to Voting Web 2.3 seconds, although Jack seems to be a lot quicker on the straights. Tech Support comes into the pits from 2nd place on the road. He's going to drop quite a few positions though. I think he might emerge around where Fuzzle and Liam Walder are. If so, that'll be decent for him. He's going to be slightly ahead of Liam Walder, I think. Indeed, they're going to come out fairly close to one another. But indeed, Tech Support is ahead. Jack Omek is now only 2 seconds behind Voting Web. The gap isn't coming down as quickly as it was previously. But this race... Oh, Perkins has gone round turn 4. We've somehow not had a safety car yet, despite all these incidents. Perkins has had a spin, and she's gone down to 14th then. Not the most ideal way to take that corner. So Jack Omek's gap is now 1.6 seconds. Giannucci is into the pits from 2nd place. He goes on to a set of the hard compound tyre. He'll probably emerge around where Pyro is, I reckon. Pyro just coming into turn 1 now. And Giannucci should be ahead of the Mercedes driver. Both starting at the back of the grid. But Giannucci is just about ahead. Voting Web's gap is now 1.3 seconds, so it is coming down now that Jack's got his tyres up to temperature. We're going to be seeing a Mercedes battling an Aston Martin before too long, although I don't think it will be too much of a battle. Looking at how much more ERS Jack Omek has, Tech Support is now ahead of the Sneaky Lagger. He's into 7th place. Oh, Voting Web's just run off the track almost unnecessarily there. Practically on the straight, he's just gone a bit wide. And that's now a 3-second time penalty to his name. So his main advantage over Jack Omek, besides track position, has now been completely nullified. And Jack gets the DRS here. I think this time next lap, Jack Omek will be ahead, and it won't be much of a contest, will it? Unfortunately for Voting Web, I don't think there's going to be anything he can do to defend it. When you've got a Jack Omek up behind you, there's not a lot you can do. Especially when he's on form like he is right now. He doesn't seem to be put off by the fact that he got knocked out in Q2. If anything, it's made him want to push further. And he's about to retake the race lead from Voting Web. And now just one last corner to go. And now they're flat out until turn 1. Jack Omek's going to open his rear wing flap. Voting Web started on pole. He's done everything he could today. Undercut the Aston Martin, but it's not enough. From 11th on the grid, Jack Omek retakes the race lead And now he's probably going to drive off into the sunset. Voting Map is going to try and fight him back, although there isn't anything that can be done to stop Jack Imac, who now leads the Brazilian Grand Prix. With 13 laps to go, Jack Imac is the new race leader, and I think it will probably stay that way. Tech Support is ahead of his teammate. Giannuzzi is under fueled at the moment. That's probably not ideal. So, what is going... Oh, there's a big old scrap here. Oh, look at this. It's almost 3 wide. I think it is 3 wide. It's 3 wide into turn 4. This 3 into 1 generally doesn't go. Although somehow there's been no contact. They're now side by side into 6. You don't often go side by side here. Perkins wisely backs out. Why is Om trying to get involved? You're a lap down, mate. Perkins and Fuzzle are trying to battle each other, and they've just got Om sitting behind them. Although all this battling has allowed Jay-Z to catch up. Hutch has gone deep. Fuzzle now going round the outside, and it's a good move from Fuzzle, but possibly not one he'd want to make, because now Hutch is going to have the DRS against him. Although Fuzzle doesn't seem to be showing any signs of slowing down for the Williams driver. Perkins is in, as is Om. They both somehow sped in the pit lane. 2 drivers pitting right beside each other, and they both speed. Om has now officially been lapped by the entire field. That's Om's 2nd speeding penalty of the race. Almost made 2 stops and he sped both times. Sneaky Lag's got Liam Walder up behind him. There's a bit of a battle going on between Hearts and Jay-Z. The 2 Haas teammates in Tier 2, now in rival teams as Tier 1 reserves. Jay-Z gets a nice switchback on the Williams driver. He's going to try and go around the outside, but he goes for another switchback. Hart goes too deep. Tries to block Jay-Z from going through, but they're side by side. Jay-Z gets himself ahead. Although with the DRS, he made a mistake. Which has almost allowed Hart to get back through. But Hart's staying behind and getting the DRS. With DRS open now. As I thought that was a battle at the front, but it's just Om being lapped for a 2nd time. I thought it was a battle at the front, but it's just Om. Although JD goes into the back of Hart, into turn 1. They don't have the best of relationships despite being teammates with each other. Hart's having a lag back as he does, which is going to invite Jay-Z to get past. Although Jay-Z going straight on into turn 4 and Hart gets himself back ahead. Why is Om trying to fight Jack Omac? We've seen this before, actually. A race leader. This is how the 2018 Grand Prix panned out. Driver starts from pole. Mercedes driver starts from pole. Leads the race. Gets passed by other driver. So that being Jack Imac. And then undercuts him. Gets passed again. And then back marker crashes into leader. Thankfully we have ghosting on, so that won't occur. Pyro going back onto another set of softs. Pow GT is coming into the pit lane. Side by side between Hearts and Jay-Z. Hearts getting himself back ahead. So Jack Imac has 2 laps to Om. Om is somehow 2 laps down. What? How are you 2 laps down? We're 26 laps in. Jay-Z picks up a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings. That will be added to his race time. I'm staying with Jack Imac, to be fair. Why? I swear, if ghosting wasn't on, I think Jack Imac could be facing the wrong way right now. Fuzzle and Pyro gonna be batting it out before too long. And Mercedes battling with a Red Bull. We've seen this before around this circuit. There's a yellow flag. Hearts has had a spin. That's 11, I want to say. Probably not. It's probably more like 13. Power GT now gets past the Williams driver, and Hearts comes into the pits. And this time we don't see a speeding penalty. I swear just tried to crash into Teeks. How did lose so much time to Jack? I think must have made a mistake there. Alright, so Teeks is on for a P2 right now. And if Jack gets a second penalty, Teeks could win the race here. I doubt it, but he could. Or it's like a battle about to commence between the two Alfa Romeos. Maybe it's already been commencing. Giannucci's going to have the DRS. Is he going to go for a move? I don't think he is this time around. There's not really any battle through the field at the moment, but Pyro sets the fastest lap of the race. That's a 1:09.4. So that's about second and a half slower than what we saw in qualifying. So it's not actually terrible from Pyro. Has just had another lag back. I think needs to fix his internet. So Jack Omac leads from voting Webb and Teeks. There's a yellow flag. That is sneaky lag that's made a mistake. Or it's not cost him any positions, it's just cost him a lot of time. Nothing seems to be changing for now. Unless Giannucci fancies going for a move on his Alfa Romeo teammate this time around. I don't think he will. No, it doesn't appear that he is fancying a move this time around. Alright, what do we have going on in this field at the moment? I don't think there's much. If that's on a mid-race stage where there's nothing to talk about, and we've not had any safety cars this race. It's been a pretty good race so far, despite the lack of anything happening. Alright, we've not had any safety cars so far, but it's not necessarily an issue. You don't necessarily need chaos for a good race. Although Teeks has just dropped, he's no longer, but it's close now. He's no longer within 3 seconds of voting Webb. So the fact that he doesn't have a time penalty won't matter. It's hard also a lap down. Yes, he is. Jack Omac going up the hill. There's really not much to talk about here, but you know, not every race is nail-biting from start to finish. Look, the two Alfa Romeos have actually caught El Plan. I think Tech Sport is slightly faster than Giannucci, but he's just kind of pulling him along with the DRS. Power GT gets ahead of Jay-Z. That's what. And now Tech Sport will have the DRS, and the Alfa Romeos are going to battle someone that's not themselves for the first time in a good few laps with DRS enabled. Tech Sport is going to try and make the move on El Plan. Has sped in the pit lane again. I swear that's the third time he's sped this race. And Tech Sport goes around the outside of El Plan, and he takes that P4 position away, sorry. And Giannucci looking to follow him through. Oh, he can't make the move this time around into turn 4. Unfortunately, he can't follow his teammate through. Oh, unfortunately for him, fortunately for El Plan. Who's that there? That is Hearts, who has... Okay, Hearts has just got Teaks behind him. The Alpha Males are going to go for it again against El Plan. If we get any more time penalties in this race, that will really turn it upside down. The thing is, the front two, unless Jack gets a second penalty, the front two will probably remain the same. Because unless Teaks uses Hearts all race for the DRS, I doubt he's going to regain that time to voting web. To be frankly honest. He has been using Hearts though for the last little while, and it has been working pretty nicely for him. Jay-Z is also a lap down. I don't get why the game doesn't show when people are a lap down. But Giannucci and El Plan are going side by side. Giannucci hasn't been able to make the move this time around. Is he going to have a lunge into turn 6? He backs out of it wisely enough. Trying to go for a move into that uphill corner was never going to work. They're all trying to get themselves ahead of that Williams. El Plan not showing the most pace ever at this stage in the race. Oh wait, DRS this time. El Plan, is he going to try and fight tech support for that 4th position with DRS open? He's going to go for the inside. Tech support thought he covered it off, but Giannucci goes steaming past the pair of them. It's a very nice move there from the Welsh driver. Tech support is going to have the DRS this time around, as will El Plan. So Giannucci covers the inside, forces El Plan the long way around the outside, but El Plan goes all the way around and he gets himself ahead. Zakis Beast gets past Luke the Blade. Some McLaren position swap. McLaren? Alpine. so position change down at Alpine. Swapping positions. So I think at this point we just kind of need to accept that the race has died down. I'm going to check how many warnings Jack iMac's on. Give me a second. Jack iMac. He's got 2 since his penalty, I believe. So if Jack iMac gets another warning, this race will swing straight into the hands of Voting Webb, who's not had the pace all race, but sometimes just keeping it cleaner than your opponents is all you have to do. So Giannucci's got past El Plan. El Plan has the DRS tech support. It's kind of dropped back ever since he got passed by his teammate. Pyro gets himself ahead of Zakis Beast. Pyro now up into 10th. The relatively fresh softs getting past the old hards on the Alpine, although Zakis Beast blasting back past Pyro very late on the brakes. That's a good move from Pyro to keep Zakis Beast at bay. Zakis Beast going a bit wide, but his teammate isn't close enough to capitalise on that. Fazal gets a time penalty with multiple warnings. Perkins is back into the pit lane, serving her 5-second time penalty and going on to another set of the soft tyres. Possibly trying to go for a fastest lap attempt. She's now a lap down as well. Many drivers are a lap down in this race. I think Jay-Z's a lap down. I think Jay-Z downwards are all a lap down, and then I think is 3 laps down. I'm not sure. Maybe it's only 2. Or Hearts and Jay-Z are side by side with each other. Hearts got pushed slightly wide there, I think. But Jay-Z in the Ferrari gets ahead. Giannucci's got past El Plan, but this time he's actually made it stick. Now, is Giannucci going to back El Plan up a bit into his teammate? That would be the team game, but it would also... That car I saw is just Perkins. I thought it was Limbo Order. I think that is exactly what Giannuzzi's doing. Tech Support does seem to be gaining on El Plan. Although he hasn't got the best of exits off that corner. And the gap from Voting Web to Jack Imac is now 3 seconds on the final lap. So I think even if Jack Imac got a penalty here, Voting Web would still not take the win away unless he pulled off a special final lap. Tech Support has got ahead of Giannuzzi, so it did work. Tech Support has regained the pace, although El Plan has got past the pair of them. With DRS enabled, Tech Support is going to go to the outside. He gets his way ahead of El Plan. So it is yet again an Alfa Romeo sandwich with El Plan in the middle. But someone that's been... those three have been challenging each other all race. But someone that hasn't been challenged, really, knocked out in Q2. Thought he might be out of contention. That didn't bother him. Leading in the championship, extends his championship lead from 11th on the grid round the final corner. It's been a dominant display today from Aston Martin as Jack Imac wins the Brazilian Grand Prix by quite a dominant display. Posted and Voting Web gets second, and Teagues in his first full-time race comes across the line in P3, and behind them Tech Support does stay ahead of El Plan, who stays ahead of Giannuzzi. Liam Walder will come home 7th. There's a yellow flag. Pyro, I think, has made a mistake. Pyro's run out of fuel on the line, so Pyro's gonna lose out on any points he would have scored. He'll remain P12. D10's also run out of fuel, so Zakisbees and Luke the Blade will make it double points for Alpine. D10 comes home P11. Pyro is going to just about limp home P12. Fuzzle is lighting up the timing sheets though. Fuzzle is looking to set the fastest lap of the session. Is Fuzzle going to get the final lap on the last lap? Final lap on the last lap. Fastest lap on the last lap. Yes, he does. Fastest lap there goes to Fuzzle. Oh. That race was interesting. It was an up and down race because it was really exciting at the front. It was a great race at the front, but then it at the start, and then it just kind of stopped. Let's get that. Okay. So Jack Imac victorious. Jack Imac from 11th of the grid extends his championship lead there from Voting Web. Teagues on his first full-time race comes home P3. Tech Support gets 4th from El Plan in 5th. So the two Alfa Romeos, both from the back of the grid, get 4th and 6th. Giannuzzi coming home behind. Liam Walder gets 7th. Sneaky Lag at 8th. Zakis Beast and Luke the Blade getting double points after Pyro and D10 both running out of fuel on the line. Power GT, Fuzzle, Power GT and Fuzzle, the last drivers on the lead lap. Then Hearts, Perkins, Jay-Z and all finishing over a lap behind. That will be all for today's stream then. So thanks to everyone who has watched the stream, and we'll see you next week for either Saturday, where we will be on Saturday we'll be racing in that's the wrong calendar. On Saturday we'll be racing in Zandvoort, and on Sunday, the day after, we will be in Austria. So until then, good night.